Hello, my lovely, lovely, lovely readers. Please sit down, relax, lean back, maybe have a coffee, a glass of wine, or something. We're about to talk about the fact that we are already halfway through 2025. It's the end of June. How come it baffles me every single time that time goes really quickly when it happens every single year that suddenly you're in June and suddenly it's summer? It happens every year. How can you be surprised? Well, I am. Because we are halfway through 2025 already, we got to do the mid-year book tag. And that is exactly what we're doing. So far this year, I have read 35 books, and my goal for 2025 was to read 40 books. So I am way, way ahead of schedule. But my question is, if you have a reading goal and you are about to reach your goal, kind of like, let's say now-ish, do you increase your goal or do you leave it and then you just achieve it and then you just keep reading? Because I'm not really sure if I should like up it to 50 or something. But then I'm like, do I really feel like I need that push? Because I'm kind of like in a flow right now. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's not really necessary. I don't know. Just drop in the comments what you usually do around the time when you're about to reach your goal way before the end of the year. Yeah. Right, so the questions that I have for this mid-year book tag are inspired by Sid Bookworm's channel. I thought she had some really good ones. I'm actually not really sure who was like the founder of the questions here. Let's just start. Let's get this going. Let's go for the first question. First question is, how has your reading year gone so far? I would actually like to say that my reading year has actually been quite stable. Like it hasn't been like super like low or super, super high. I have had a few 5-star, few 4.75 star. I've had some 3 stars. So I think it's been quite a stable like reading journey. I actively do try to like discover new genres and new authors. And I also have been discovering that when I don't really know what to read or when I feel like I'm sort of starting to slump, I am quite drawn to romance as a genre. I don't want to class myself as a romance reader. I like to think myself as quite eclectic, but if there is romance woven into the plot, I am immediately quite like drawn to it. So if I'm slumping, I kind of do tend to go to romance. So I've kind of been starting to discover that about myself. Question number 2, what books have stood out the most so far in 2024? So I have maybe like 5-ish books that I feel like have really stood out to me, and they're in no particular order. But the first one is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book I actually read in January, and it is just utterly amazing. It is a historical fiction book. It's set in the Second World War in the beginning, like from the beginning to the end of the war. And we get to follow 2 sisters who live in France right when the Germans started to occupy France. And we get to follow them through their heroic acts during the Second World War. And this book also really highlights like the bravery and the endurance that women had during times of war. It's just an absolutely beautiful book. My second book is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I think this was my first dark fantasy book, and this one also took me away by storm, and it made me face things that I did not want to face, okay? And this book does not let you turn away. It is absolutely incredible, and it's under 500 pages. So the book kind of like takes place in a city that's quite misogynistic, like women have no chance of thriving because of the system there, like because it's a very sexist kind of city. And we get to follow our FMC, and she has been like chosen into this academy to be like a high mage or something. But basically we get to follow her as she is battling the system, and also we get to follow her as she is discovering some terrible, terrible things about this city. It is just absolute skill that M.L. Wang is showing in this book, okay? It is like phenomenal. Then we have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Listen, this book was like a warm hug. We have a tall FMC, okay? She's a car mechanic. I don't know, she's giving girl boss vibes. This is a romance, by the way. It is a romance book, and it's basically about that she's kind of like tired of dating, and she wants to find the love, and she wants to like find that, that Pride and Prejudice love, like you have stolen my heart and soul and I love you kind of love. And she goes onto this radio show, and then the guy who is the host of the radio show is supposed to help her find love through this show. Only the problem is he does not believe in love at all. Like it's so nice, it's so heartwarming, and it really told me that you deserve to be loved the way that you want to be loved, and you deserve to have someone who's absolutely obsessed with you, because why would you have it any other way? I'm so sorry. I actually had to get my glasses because I actually can't see. So before I say the next one, I feel like I need to see properly. All right, so the next one that was on my list is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. Adrienne Young has such a cool way of like being able to give you a little bit of everything from like each genre into one book. This gave like fantasy, mystery, and a bit of romance. I'm gonna be really bad when I am giving the plot here, but the only way I can say it, it is about a woman who like has like her family history of the women in her family. They can all time travel. We get to follow her as she travels through time. It's not really that, but that's the only way I can say what it's about. I'm gonna say that this book did give me Outlander mixed with Where the Crawdads Sing, and therefore I was all for it. It honestly has one of like a really beautiful love story, like Outlander type of love story. Really, really powerful. All right, so the last book is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Okay, you know what? After I finished it, which I did in 2 days, when I finished it, I felt like I read romance for the first time. It's that, you know, when you read a genre that you feel like, okay, you know, this genre is screaming like me. I felt that when I read Carly Fortune's Every Summer After. I felt like I'd rediscovered my love for romance books. It is second chance romance, which is one of my favorite tropes. It is set in like a, you know, cabin by the lake, small townish kind of vibe. We also have dual timelines. So we get to follow like our 3 main characters, and 2 of those main characters, they have a love story, and the dual timelines is kind of like how they met when they were teenagers, and then they had a falling out in like the future, and then we kind of get to figure out what happened, like what went wrong. Like the FMC is totally relatable to me, just like, and the setting, like the way that Carly Fortune set up the setting, it was just, I could see it in front of me. It was just such a good read. Hi, it's me from the future. I actually realized that I forgot to mention a book that really stood out to me this year so far, and is actually the one that has stood out to me the most, and I can't believe that I forgot it. It's actually one of those like, shame on you for forgetting. Shame, 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 shame. That book is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. It is a perfect, perfect prequel for a perfect, perfect trilogy. And that trilogy is obviously The Hunger Games, my all-time favorite, you know, series of all time. I can't believe I forgot this book. Anyway, I'm gonna keep obsessing over the fact that I forgot about this book while you can continue watching the program and resume. Question number 3. What is the best sequel you have read so far? I have actually not read that many series. I have started some, but I have not read the sequel of them. So the only one that I can actually sort of say that's kind of like a sequel, that's One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, because it kind of takes place after Every Summer After. Yeah, I would say that's like the best one I've read, because I really like that one as well. The next question is, what book did you have most fun reading? Without a doubt, it is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Especially the chapters that are through the POV of Marcellus the octopus. Look, who would have thought that some of the best chapters I've ever read in my life would be through the POV of an octopus? They are absolutely brilliant, and I would really recommend that you immersive read this with the audiobook, because the person who's reading for Marcellus, so good. This book in general had me laughing, had me crying. It also had a bit of mystery in there, so it kind of got like my brain thinking a bit like, what is going on? It is a top book. What are we on, question 5? 6? I have no idea. I kind of lost count. What are the new releases you haven't read yet but you want to? I'm going to admit something that actually makes me a really terrible person in the book community, and I need to fix it immediately. I am really bad at keeping track of releases. I'm terrible. Maybe it's because I'm like, I have so many on my TBR that like have been released already that I sometimes don't even think about what's coming out. But I need to keep track on what's coming out. Like seriously, I really need to keep track of that. I have a few releases that are coming up or have been released that I am excited to read, and here they are. So the first one is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I have not read an Abby Jimenez book. I've heard a bit of mixed reviews on this one, but I feel like if I'm going to start anywhere, it might as well be there, because I've been like, when the release day happened, there was like so much hype around it. So I kind of like, got sucked into the hype, and I was like, okay, you know what? I want to read this one. The next one is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I think this one's also been really raving, like especially on Instagram. And like I said, I'm just so easily influenced. Like if people are hyping something, I kind of like immediately get drawn to the hype and I'm like, oh, okay, I want to read it too. Then we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one I have heard is quite the tear starter. It is a historical fiction and it is like forbidden love kind of energy. We got NASA, we got space. I have read one Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and that is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I wanted to like it more than I did. I liked it, but I was kind of hoping to be like in love with it, which I wasn't. But you know what? I want to read this one too because I did like the way that Taylor Jenkins Reid wrote. So yeah. What is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year? I mean, I would have to say The Wedding People by Alison Espak. That one's been on my TBR for a while, and I have been anticipating it for a while, and I don't know why I haven't gotten to it yet. It's supposed to be like, funny and heartwarming, and to me, those two combinations are like the best type of combo. If you can make me laugh and make me cry, then I'm set. Okay, this question it's not an uncomfortable question, but I just don't like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna say it. What is your biggest disappointment of the year so far? I don't really usually like to talk about like books in a negative way or anything, but like, okay, sometimes it just has to be done. Okay, here we go. So one that did disappoint me was One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I just didn't, unfortunately, the story just didn't connect with me. The characters didn't connect with me. It was also so hyped, and I went in with my expectations like super, super high. To be fair, I had just finished The Nightingale, which was a completely different book. So I kind of went into this a little bit like, bleh, which kind of made me cloud my judgment that, oh, this isn't The Nightingale. Nothing will ever compete. So, One Dark Window didn't really stand a chance. Then the next one is Color Television by Danzy Senna. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know if I was in like a rut and like I was just overwhelmed or stressed, but I audiobooked this one and partly read it like on the physical copy. I don't remember a thing. And I'm going to say, reading this as someone who is mixed raced, it was certainly interesting. I don't know, I went in thinking this was going to be completely something, and then it wasn't that something. So, and I also don't remember anything that I read. So I feel like I can't really put it in that disappointment group because I feel like, did I even give it a shot? But it is there now. Yeah. I really like this question. What is the biggest surprise of the year so far? Without a doubt, that is Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. For 6 months, I had it, and I looked at it, and I was like, ugh, no, don't want to read that. One day, I was like, ugh, just suck it up, just read it. And then I fell in love. This book took me by, I did not expect to love this book as much as I did. And I'm also very, very like drawn to characters. Like if there's a really good character, I feel like, oh yeah, I'm connecting with this character. Then I'll love the book like immediately. And Sally Rooney is incredible at writing characters. Ivan Kubek is one of my favorite like main male characters in like in that list there. And I just really, really loved it. It is like it's a contemporary fiction, I'd like to say. And it's about two brothers, Ivan and Peter. They're going through like grief, and they're also going through kind of like, they have a quite like a sibling rivalry going on. I wouldn't really want to class it as that, but they're very different people. So they kind of tend to like clash all the time, and they're trying to like find their way to like go through that. And they are also, both of them are in what would kind of like be considered quite controversial relationships. It was just so good, and it was just written really well. Definitely took me by surprise. Question number something, because I don't know what number we're at. Who is your favorite new author? That one is without a doubt, no question, no doubt, no diggity, Carly Fortune and Sally Rooney. They are up there. Carly Fortune, poof, went up there so quick. Sally Rooney, poof, went up there so quick. Carly Fortune is actually kind of competing against Emily Henry, which is one of my other favorite romance authors. And I'm wondering if Carly Fortune might be like Carly Fortune, Emily Henry. I don't know, but yeah. Okay, what book has made you cry so far this year? I'm gonna do this in order of like kind of like little mini sobs to then like last being like I am hulking and I'm feeling like I can't breathe, sort of crying. So We have from the, little teardrops falling. We have remarkably bright creatures. We have intermezzo. We're now stepping up to like another level of crying. The Favorites by Lane Fargo, especially the ending. The ending took over my soul. I don't know what happened. It was just like, eh. Then we have Blood Over Brighthaven. And then the absolute hulking, crying, can't breathe is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Hi, it's me again. I am just forgetting things like all the time. Another book that also made me cry and hulk and have me like tears are just gushing out of my face. That is also Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Yeah, the ending destroyed me. Like for real, like why would you do that, Suzanne Collins? Why would you do that to us? Okay, while I figure out why she would do that to us, we can now resume with the next question because I think that's what's coming up right now. What is the most beautiful book you've bought this year? Now I'm going to assume beautiful as in like the cover and not like the story. It is the 10th anniversary of The Nightingale. I don't have it here. It's in London right now and I wish I could have it here to show. It is stunning. Beautiful. This question I actually really liked here. What is your favorite video that you've made this year so far? I am gonna have to say it's on my Instagram account. It is a lip sync video where I had the cutest co-star ever, and that is Sherlock, the border collie. He is my boyfriend's family dog, and he was wonderful co-starring with me in this lip sync video. It was one of the hardest lip sync videos I've ever filmed because there was so much talking, so there was like so many lines I had to learn, and I was also sweating because I was like all over the place and like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I just had a lot of fun filming. I really like filming lip syncs. I haven't done it for a while now because I'm just not finding any inspiration, because I also am getting overwhelmed when I'm scrolling on Reels on Instagram and anywhere at the moment. I'm like, so I've kind of not been really posting that many of those, and I want to because I really like it, but I need to be in the right mood to do it. Any upcoming videos you're excited to make? That is actually doing this. I am looking forward to posting more on YouTube. I'm looking forward to kind of like get this YouTube channel started. The funny thing is when I started doing like the whole book content creator thing, it originally started, I wanted to like blog, but then it actually turned into that I wanted to do YouTube. But then somehow along the way, I ended up going to Instagram and TikTok. And then now I'm mainly on Instagram. I was Instagram, TikTok, but I honestly get too overwhelmed by doing like 2 social medias at the same time. Especially in the beginning, I just needed to figure out how one worked. But I really want to go into YouTube and I really want to do longer videos where I actually get to like fully talk. Like it feels more like, whew. I feel like YouTube is just a bit different. It just feels more chill here. I'm gonna slowly start like posting longer videos here on YouTube. And I hope you guys will want to stick around for that. And I want to try to build a community here as well. That's what I'm really, really looking forward to. All right, I actually think that was all the questions. Oh my God, we got through them. Thank you so much for listening. If you are still watching, thank you so much. This was actually really fun to do. It's also nice to kind of do like these overview things because then you're like, sometimes when you're reading and it's just kind of, I feel like I'm like next book, next book, next book, next book. And I actually don't get to like just kind of like reflect on what, the flip is happening. Can't wait for the next half. Some part of me, am I crazy? But some part of me is already looking forward to like Christmas and fall. I know I'm so like when winter is here, I'm like, I miss summer. And then when summer is here, I'm like, I miss winter. I want Christmas. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Have a good day. You are amazing, amazing people. And I'll see you soon, my lovely, lovely readers.